All right, hi everybody, John Meadows here, and I want to talk about how to build a perfect quad sweep. So that's the muscle that sits on the side of your legs, your vastus lateralis, right over here. A few things that come to mind initially. First of all, there's a genetic component to this. So some people just genetically have a little bit bigger quad sweep just due to where their muscles originate and where they attach. There's really nothing you can do about that. So some of this is going to be genetic. That's just the truth. The second part is what I would focus on initially is just building your whole leg. A lot of people come to me and they say, I need to build my quad sweep. And I think probably the answer for most of those people is no, you just need to build your whole leg. If you build your whole leg, probably your quad sweep will get better. Okay, now, those are a couple basics that come to mind. So let's talk about the exercises that I like the most. Unfortunately, I don't have anything really fancy for you. There's no miracle exercise that isolates your vastus lateralis and doesn't work the other parts of your leg. What I think works your quad sweep the best are actually probably the things that make your leg the biggest. So you're going to be a little disappointed with how basic these exercises are. The first one, it's just a squat. You know, I built a pretty good quad sweep myself with basically these three exercises I'm going to show you. I just think a squat is great for building your quad sweep. Now, a lot of people talk about foot position. Do you want to be close? Do you want to be wide with your toes out? Some of the self-proclaimed gurus will say that it doesn't matter where your stance is, the muscles will attach around your femur, and basically you're just changing your hip angle and it doesn't really matter. I can see where they're coming from an anatomical perspective, but I will tell you this, in the 30-something years I've been training, slight differences in your foot position do make a little bit of a difference. It's not that you're isolating your quad sweep, it's just that you're directing a little bit more stress to your quad sweep. For me personally, I like to go a little wider than shoulder width, and I like to turn my toes out some. Ideally, you like to keep your spine pretty straight up and down, and then really drive right here. So, I believe that that's going to be a much better quad sweep exercise than, say, something where you're squatting like that. That's going to be a lot more lower back, a lot more glute. So generally speaking, I want a spine that's pretty straight up and down. I want your toes pointed out, and I want you to drive from right here, okay? You can do it with a bar, freeway bar, or you can even do it in a Smith machine. A Smith machine is nice because it allows you to keep your back straight. So, feet out in front, straight back, driving right here. Now, I personally feel that really good in the side of my leg. I don't like to go rock bottom on those. I tend to feel it a little bit more in my lower back when I get to a certain point. So I'm not crazy about getting an extreme range of motion on that. Now let's walk over to the second exercise. This is a hack squat. And this is my favorite way to build quad sweep. On this one, I am crazy about range of motion. I want to go deep, deep, deep. For those of you who are interested in the science stuff, there is some very good research showing that full range of motion, where you're working the muscle really hard in a lengthened position where it's stretched, does create kind of a different kind of hypertrophy. So usually when we think about building muscle, we think about cross-sectionally, the middle of the muscle gets thicker, but you can actually change the length of the muscle. Not the origin and insertion, but the length of the muscle. You can actually grow it that way by training in a lengthened position with some good weight. So I'm going to do a few reps on the hack squat here to show you what I mean. Again, I'm going to go toes pointed out a little bit. If you want to put your feet low on a platform, that's also excellent for quads as well. But the main thing I really want you to do on the hack squat, the main thing honestly is I just want you to go real deep. So So hopefully you can see the deep range of motion there. Notice I had control too. I wasn't dropping down and bouncing really hard. I maintained good control. I felt a really good stretch on the side of my thigh. That would be probably my #1 exercise. Now the last one I'm gonna show you, actually I don't know if I'm gonna show you or not. It's a leg press. We got some folks on the leg press. The leg press, I want you to execute the same way. I want you to go high and wide. Actually not real high, kind of medium with your toes out. Basically simulating the stances we had here. If you didn't notice, I'm a little partial to that stance. Wide with toes out. Wide as in just a little bit more than shoulder width. I feel like that stance, maybe it doesn't cause pure isolation, but I do feel that it directs a little more stress to your quad sweep. I think if you're doing squats, leg presses and hack squats like that, that's the best bang for your buck exercises you're going to get for quad sweep.